All right, what's up? It's Will, and I have a special guest here. She's going to introduce some of her artwork that she has here. Here's Sheena.
Hi, I'm Sheena, otherwise known as Rugna, and I mostly customize My Little Ponies. So I take the original ponies that Hasbro puts out, and I strip them down, especially if they're in bad condition, repaint, rehair, sculpt, all kinds of stuff to them.
And you've been doing this for a while, right?
I've been doing this since the 90s.
Oh, wow. Well, look, I wanted to see this one here. I know this one's already sold out, but
Yes.
you know, this is a comic book convention, so we got Avengers here.
Yeah, I like to do character customs, and I started out making a set of Star Wars ponies and Power Ranger ponies, which sold out pretty quickly, and then I just kept commissions coming in for whatever fandoms people happen to collect, and they think a pony one-off would be cool for their collection.
What are some of your favorite pieces that you've done?
I think that changes every year because I'm constantly trying to try new things and push myself, and there's new products that come out, but I always kind of still play with stuff. So I even have like one like this that is hot glue that makes the hair and the mane, and then I paint it over it, as opposed to, you know, epoxy sculpt, which is a major brand of two-part clay that you can work with to actually sculpt and you don't have to bake it. So I do a wide variety of things, and every year it kind of changes as to what my favorite is. But usually the ones that are my favorites never leave home. Sometimes though it's really hard to part with those commissions because some of these characters turn out great, and I'm like, I want Loki for myself. Dang it, I have to make another one.
Beautiful, I like it.
Thank you so much. I also like to tell people that they're a fun craft thing. You don't have to have any experience. You can just take acrylic paint and, you know, a pony you picked up at a thrift store or something, or a yard sale, and just have fun and design your own. So.
And then what are these models here? Oh, that's just...
Yeah, so sometimes I take sculptures. You know, these were the Halloween potion bottles. I've got, you know, little things that used to be angels that are no longer angels, or they're weeping angels now from Doctor Who. And I do slight modifications with my epoxy sculptures and paint them and turn them into something new as well.
And what's the best way to get a hold of you?
The best way to get a hold of me is email or through my social media. I'm Rugna's Custom Creations on Facebook and Instagram. I'm on DeviantArt. My email is rugna13@gmail.com, and I'm happy to answer questions. I've given presentations on how to do this, so feel free to hit me up.
Cool. Did you get her? We need to try to go. We're trying to go 3 minutes. So, I don't know, is there something else in particular that you think that you want to talk about, or?
So one of the nice things about doing customizing, whether it's ponies or dolls, which is also a big thing that I'm getting into, is you can really play with any medium you want. You know, acrylic paints, you don't have to strip everything off and redo the hair. You can dye it, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can paint the hair and it'll work that way too. And so it's great for all ages, you know, and you can just have a lot of fun with it and get really creative. You can take your passions in other areas and say, well, I always wanted a whatever doll, and they never made one. Well, you can try it yourself. And there's so many resources online now that you can go to for asking people or seeing their videos or their tutorials on how to do stuff, that you can figure it out or ask questions. But I really like the experimental process of what works for me and what doesn't, and just having a lot of fun with it.
It's so beautiful. Feel that array. You want to talk about any of the particular pieces here? Any kind of stories with them?
Seeing who I got here. I bring a variety. So these were obviously Littlest Pet Shops, and there's no sculpting on it. It's just Frankenstein's monster and the bride. And one of the things that I made on them was, go in with a different color, like in the dark, to make things pop out without having to alter the piece a whole lot, as opposed to things that needed sculpted bits or things like that to patch them up. If you do want to customize and you're going with vintage toys, it's always good to check with a collector and make sure you're not using something that might actually be worth something to somebody.
Yeah.
Right? It could be like, oh yeah, that's really common. You could only sell it for a couple of dollars, or it's like, whoa, that even in that condition that you think is so bad, somebody might want it and be willing to pay a lot for it. So it's always good to check those things out. If they're not vintage, if they're not the original, chances are you're not going to destroy something that was worth a lot of money for your art. But it is good to check for things like that. I like to do a variety. Like I said, I've got my characters from other fandoms. Sometimes I take ponies that Hasbro created for their TV show, but they never made a toy of, and kind of make my own version of it. And other times they're just whatever happens to be in my head. I like creepy Halloween stuff too, so of course I've got fun zombies, they get maggots and all kinds of stuff eating them up. But, there's really no limit to what you can create. And one of the things that's really important with art in general is you make it for yourself, and you make it because you love it and not because you're trying to make money. If you make some money on it, that's always great. But if that's your goal, you're never going to be satisfied. So you have to do it for you because it's fun and something you want to do.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you for letting us see your collection.
Thank you so much for the spotlight.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, that's good.